Hey, Sugarino, welcome to my channel. I'm going to do a video for you today about pregnancy. I should call it Pregnancy 101. But anyways, I just had a baby, so this is my second daughter. I have a 9-year-old and then I have a 2-month-old. And I just want to give you all some tips and things of that nature of, you know, what you can expect when you're pregnant and maybe some tips and things to kind of help along the way. I have to put the caveat in there. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse. These are just from my experiences, from me to you. And I've had also some advice from my doctor, as well as I have a cousin who's a nurse. So some of this information is coming from medical field, but it really is just, you know, my experiences and experiences of my friends and families and things I can share with you. So if you're pregnant or you're thinking about getting pregnant, or if you have a girlfriend or a wife or something that's pregnant, I hope you find this video very informative. But I was gone for a while. I'm now back. Of course I was gone because I was having a baby. So I'm back on YouTube now. If this is your first time at my channel, I do have a lifestyle channel where I talk about different things. I do reviews, give tips, have fun. So if this is your first time, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. So I do have a list of things because I didn't really want to try not to forget anything and kind of tell you all and give you all the information that I have. And then I also have a booklet that I got from my doctor that goes over some of the medications and things that you can take, because when you're pregnant, there are a lot of things you cannot take. Okay, so don't take your normal medication when you're experiencing certain things. Always consult with your doctor. But again, I will go over the information that I received and what I did throughout my pregnancies. So all the stuff I'm going to talk about today does not mean you are going to experience it. It's just a possibility you may. If you do, for some of these things, I can give you some tips and things that will help. So let's get started. And one thing I will say is, number one, because I had a girl ask me, you know, how long it took me to get pregnant. Like, no time. I'm just, I guess, a fertile person. Even at 41 years old, it didn't take any time. It took probably about trying maybe 2 months with my first daughter and this one. It could take longer. It depends. If you are on birth control, on the pill, it could take about a month to get out of your system. Once the pill is out of your system, then, and you know, if your periods are regular and everything's fine, then, you know, you can start trying to conceive and you can possibly get pregnant. If you're on the depot shot, it could take anywhere from like a year to 18 months. It's just, it varies depending on what type of birth control that you're on. So I would say, you can always ask your doctor if you want, but really, as long as you start getting a regular period after you've been off of, you know, whatever birth control you're on for a little bit, you should be able to be in the position to start conceiving. And if you're having issues getting pregnant, like if you have PCOS, then I would say, you know, do a little bit of research. I've seen people with that have taken like black seed oil and stuff like that, and it actually helped and they got pregnant. So, you know, there are some things that you can try if you're having a hard time, and, you know, before you start looking at in vitro and all those really expensive options. Okay, now number 2, if you are pregnant, schedule a doctor's appointment. You don't go through this pregnancy without seeing a doctor, especially, you know, even if you can't afford it, there's clinics and things like that. But it is important to go see your doctor. They'll give you all types of samples of, you know, prenatal pills and just different things that you can take. Okay, so just make sure you do that step. As I said, they'll give you samples. I went through several samples of prenatal vitamins. So I actually went with Ritual for prenatal pills or vitamins, and I actually like these. They're really cool. You can kind of see the stuff inside the pill. But one thing I know, I did research on Ritual, they're not really good for iron. So I actually did take an iron supplement, a liquid iron supplement, and it's, I believe, plant-based. I will put a picture of that, and also the iron supplement that I took, I'll put it in the description box below. So the next thing is basically the side effects. I mean, I think that's what some people kind of want to see in this video. You will experience some side effects. Like I said, every pregnancy is different. My first pregnancy, no side effects, like nothing. Second one, all types. Nausea, and I was nauseous. Very, very nauseous. Most people who are nauseous, it actually subsides by the second trimester. You're normally better, but I've known people to vomit through the whole pregnancy. So everybody's different, like I said. So just know that that is a possible side effect that you may experience. For the most part, most people get through it after the first trimester, so there is hope. Another thing is constipation. Very common. There's some things that you can do that are natural for constipation. I recommend eating an apple a day if you can, or maybe taking some prune juice. I'll put which prune juice I actually use in the description box below. I don't use one that's real sugary because to me prunes are sweet anyway. Or you can eat prunes, you can eat regular prunes. You don't have to do the juice if you don't want to. But those natural things and drinking a lot of water do help with constipation. So I did want to put that out there. You can also, if you're not going to do the natural stuff, I do have a book that I got from my doctor of lists of medications that are safe. And again, please consult with your doctor. For constipation, you can take Colace. If you are going to do something over the counter, you can take Colace, as well as when you're nursing and breastfeeding. After you've had your baby, if you have constipation, they're going to give you Colace in the hospital. And you can also buy it over the counter and take it at home if you're experiencing some of constipation after your pregnancy as well. So you can also do Miralax, as well as a Ducalax suppository, Fibercom, Metamucil. It says drinks lots of liquid, add fiber. So basically fiber. Apples have a lot of fiber. That's why I kind of recommended apples. And prunes are, like I said earlier, also great. So try the natural stuff first. If you're really having a hard time, talk to your doctor, and they'll most likely recommend one of these options over the counter. The next one is indigestion, and I actually have a great option for indigestion because I did experience some of the second pregnancy, and I've had a cousin who had heartburn, I think really bad. But apple cider vinegar. So if you take a warm cup of water with about a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, I squeeze about half of a lemon, you can do less than half if you want, and put about a tablespoon of honey just to sweeten it up. You don't need the honey if you don't want it. And you drink that, and it helps get rid of your heartburn in about 30 minutes or so. Or if you have heartburn at night and it wakes you up at night, which is what my cousin experienced, drink that before you go to sleep, and that should help you sleep. Now, if you want to take medication, try that first. I really recommend trying that for people. But if you want to take medication for indigestion or heartburn, really, it says avoid lying down at least 1 hour after meals. And you can take Maalox, Mylanta, Pepcid, milk of magnesia, Prilosec, Rolaids, Tums, limited to 4 Tums a day. I don't think Tums work. Rolaids, I don't take any of that. I used to when I was younger and didn't really know about apple cider vinegar. I would take a couple of Rolaids or Tums, and then I would drink a can of Sprite. That helped. So if you're out and about and you're not at home and you're experiencing indigestion, you can drink a can of 7-Up or Sprite, and that really kind of helps it. I will say this, you might have an easy pregnancy, you might have a hard pregnancy. So one of the things that I had experienced was issues with my sciatic nerve, which is a nerve that runs basically from your butt down like your leg. There's not a whole lot you can do. You can try some stretching. There is stretching online. If you do research, the different stretches you can do to kind of help it. But that is something that I did kind of suffer with, and I did stretch. Eventually it did get a little bit better, but that's just a side effect. And once I had my daughter, I did not have issues with that nerve again. So it's, like I said, it's just a pregnancy side effect. So that's something you may experience. Also is, oh my God, sleepiness. Oh, I think a lot of women experience this. You are so freaking tired, and it can vary from trimester to trimester. I believe when I first started, I wasn't really that sleepy, but as I went on in my pregnancy, oh my gosh, I was so tired. I feel like I would just, if I got comfortable, I would just fall asleep. I just could not help it. And then it got better. And then I started getting tired again. So it kind of fluctuated for me. So it's different for everybody, but that is one huge side effect, is sleepiness. Of course, weight gain. We gain weight when you get pregnant. I believe if you're kind of in a normal weight range, they'll tell you not to gain any more than 20 to 25 pounds. Honey, I gained 60, a little over 60 with my first daughter. And with this one, oh Jesus, what did I gain, 73? Like literally I started at about 150 pounds and I got up to 223. Yeah, I was swollen to say the least. So weight gain is something you will experience. But with that weight gain, a lot of it is water, so you will lose a lot of it early. With it, I had so much water. I literally lost 40 pounds in 1 week after I had her. So weight gain is just, it happens. And swelling happens. Most people, it's just your feet. It's just like everybody's different. If you are swollen, just make sure you take rings off your fingers. If rings start to get hard to take off, leave them off. If your feet or ankles are swollen, which is very, very common, put them up, elevate them. That helps. So, and then also watch your sodium. Salt really will make you swell and blow up. So if you are swelling really bad, just watch your sodium intake. Also, your feet can grow. This is not the nice part of it. So with my first daughter, my feet grew a ½ inch. During my first pregnancy, I literally had to get rid of all my boots and a shoe because they no longer fit. So don't be, you know, surprised by that. Let's say that. Okay. Also, women of color, even if you're of lighter color, can experience skin discoloration. And what I mean by that is your skin can get darker. That is a side effect. That happened to me during both my pregnancies. Like I don't know if you can see because I've tried to put a tiny bit of makeup on, but my neck got really, really dark. My face darkened up, like literally my nose was darker, and like the bottom half of my face is really weird with this pregnancy. With my daughter, my first daughter, oh my God, my stomach was black, honey, like pitch black, like the black on my shirt, like behind me, like black. I didn't know. I had to ask my doctor, like, why is my stomach black? And he was like, well, it just happens, women of color. And then once you have your baby, the skin dies. It's really weird. And then you literally will scrub it off in the shower. So after so many months, and just taking your normal shower a day, like literally it did scrub off. It was really weird, but it just happens. So if you are a woman of color and that does happen, that is normal, and your skin will return back to normal. It may take some time, but it will return actually back to normal. So, and I think it just comes from hormones. Hormones increases melanin, so that's kind of why we get the skin discoloration. I will say this too, I don't think I put this in my notes, but stretch marks, very, very common. It happens. In my opinion, I think it's hereditary. They say you can use all these cream and balms and all this other stuff. I don't really know if that stuff works. I don't have really, really bad stretch marks, but neither does my mom. So like I said, I think it's hereditary, but you'd still use something. Don't just, your skin will itch, so don't just not put anything on your skin. Put some oil, whether it's coconut oil, if you have some kind of belly balm, all that stuff is good just because your skin will stretch and it will start to itch. So I would recommend using something like that. Another thing is cramps. You may have cramps at the beginning of your pregnancy. And the reason for that, it's just like your uterus preparing itself for, you know, the baby. It just happens. And like I said, my cramping happened in both pregnancies, but towards the beginning. I had more with this second one, but don't be alarmed if you're cramping. Now, if it's severe, then yes, please see your doctor if you have severe cramps. Okay, the next one is dry mouth. Oh my God. I only experienced dry mouth with my second pregnancy, and when I tell you it feels like nothing can quench your thirst, like I was so freaking like thirsty, water wasn't working, so I would try to drink juice or something like that. I was so freaking thirsty. It's just a side effect. Just know that, you know, it can happen. It sucks, but it kind of came and went. So I didn't experience it the whole pregnancy. Just know that it's a possibility that it can come and go if you are experiencing dry mouth. Pregnancy acne is another one if you have pregnancy acne. I didn't, but I know people who had it bad. And it does go away once you have your baby. It's just hormonal, and it's just a side effect. Yeast infections, that is another one. To help with yeast infections, I would say, and it's common, I would say, you know, I took a pregnancy probiotic. I will put, if I can put a picture up for you, I will, of which one I took. But I did take a pregnancy probiotic daily with my prenatal vitamin and my iron that I take. So that helps. So if you are experiencing yeast infections, I would get a pregnancy probiotic, as well as watch your sugar intake, because sugar just fuels it. Sugar is really bad for yeast infections. And they say you can take certain over-the-counter stuff, that some of that over-the-counter stuff burns. So instead of using that burning cream, honey, just use coconut oil. As long as you're not allergic to coconut oil, if you need to use it down there to stop the burning, coconut oil is the best thing. I'm telling you, like, it was the bomb. So just a little note, if you are having yeast infections, how to kind of soothe the burn. But you really need to stop eating sugar, stop drinking pop. If you drink pop, juice with lots of sugar in it, just really watch your sugar intake. The next one is Braxton Hicks. Sometimes you will experience Braxton Hicks, basically they're like contractions. I experienced them towards the end with my first pregnancy. With this one, it was kind of in the, I believe, beginning of the second trimester, I experienced Braxton Hicks, and it kind of scared me a little bit, but one of my sister-in-law said she had them through her whole pregnancy. So it's possible you will have Braxton Hicks. It's basically just your stomach contracting. If you're experiencing real contractions, go to the emergency room. But Braxton Hicks are just light contractions. They don't hurt. It's just your stomach muscles getting tight, and then they'll release. So if you are experiencing them and they don't seem like they're mild, I would, if I were you, I would just go ahead and contact your OBGYN just to let them know what's going on. And they'll ask you that too when you go to your appointments, if you're experiencing any bleeding or Braxton Hicks or just anything like that. So just know that that is not uncommon. Snoring. And I will say this is a side effect because I don't snore, but I caught myself snoring. And my daughter, my 9-year-old, told me I was snoring. Just from on the couch, just fell asleep. One of my tired, going through me being tired. And I caught myself snoring. And I think it's just because my neck got bigger, I got bigger, and it happened. But once I had my daughter and I lost some of that water weight, I still have quite a bit of weight to lose, but the water weight is gone. I don't snore anymore. So that is something that could possibly start. If you are not a snorer, you could start snoring. I think it's because of the weight gain, but it can happen. Another thing I want to get to is what you can take if you are feeling sick. So if you have a headache, the only thing you can take, honey, is Tylenol. And for me, Tylenol don't do nothing. Like that's not something I would normally take if I wasn't pregnant. But when you are pregnant, you cannot take anything but Tylenol for a headache. So just to let you know, you cannot take Advil, you cannot take Aleve, you cannot take anything like that. Okay? If you're having severe headaches, migraines, talk to your doctor. Now, if you have a cold, there are certain things that you can take. It sucks. When I had a cold, and I had a cold literally for like a month. It may have been longer than a month. It took forever for that dang cold to go away. I was trying to do natural stuff, back to my apple cider vinegar to help with my sore throat. You can take cough drops. You can do that. And I will read to you the safe medications you can take with a cold. And it's or allergies, if you have allergies too. You can take, and this is basically after 20 weeks, after you're 20 weeks pregnant, you can take Claritin D, Tylenol cold and sinus. But you cannot take these if you have blood pressure problems. Okay. You can take Benadryl, Tylenol cold and sinus, Vicks Vapor Rub is great. You can use the neti pot, Sudafed nasal decongestant. So there's different things that you can do. But again, if the doctor says that you're experiencing high blood pressure, do not take anything until you talk to your doctor and you ask your doctor what you can take. So those are just a couple of things that you can take. If you have a cough with that cold, you can do cough drops. You can do plain and DM Robitussin and Mucinex. Also, I did say if you don't feel good, you can't take anything. Tylenol is mainly the main thing you can take. I'll put a picture of that below too to show you that you cannot take Advil, Aleve, Motrin, ibuprofen, naproxen, none of that. Nothing. So at the end of the video, I will post this and a lot of the different things. I'll just kind of have it go through the screens, a little pictures flash to show you what you can take for certain things. So just in case I'm not talking about something that you're experiencing, but it happens to be in this book. So I will do that towards the end of the video for you. I will say this, during your pregnancy, if you can, exercising is awesome. Do not overdo it. And it's good with helping keeping your weight down because you do get really hungry. I mean, hunger is like a side effect of pregnancy as well. But you know, working out is really, really good for your heart and your body and your baby. So if you can work out, lightly work out. Don't be doing the hard videos or, you know, hard classes. If you go to a gym, don't do all that. What I did with the second one is I walked, which is very light for me because I would actually do a lot of the Beachbody programs, which I'm going to get back into. Right now I've just started walking again after I've had her because I had a C-section, so it did take me some time to recover. But walking is great. I recommend that you walk if you can while you're pregnant, whether it's outside on a treadmill, whatever. Just don't do anything excessive, especially if you're not used to working out. But again, light exercise is awesome. For a C-section, I just mentioned that. I had a C-section with both my kids. It's a possibility that you will have a C-section in your pregnancy. I recommend trying to do it naturally if you can. Normally that's the way it happens. You do it naturally unless you have complications. If you have complications, just do the C-section. Don't wait and then start having complications with your baby because you're waiting and you're not wanting, or you're arguing with the doctor, because I've known people to do this, argue with a doctor because they don't want a C-section and then something ends up happening with their baby. Don't do that. If you have to have an emergency C-section, they're doctors for a reason. Let them take care of you and your baby. But if you have your C-section, it generally takes 6 to 8 weeks for you to recover, and you will tell, like I said, I had two. After about the 8th week, you feel a little more normal. Working out did not come easy for me with either pregnancy. I don't care how old I was. I can't do anything like crazy. I can walk. I just started walking. I cannot run. I tried just walking across the street. I put a clip on Instagram. Literally, y'all, walking across the street, I felt like, you know, you try to jog across. I feel like I couldn't run. And I was someone who used to be athletic, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like if someone was chasing me, they would just catch me because I can't run. It's crazy. But anyways, you have to start somewhere. So walking is awesome, awesome, awesome when you're pregnant and after you're pregnant, and if you have a C-section, or if you have a natural birth, it's still great. But if you do have a C-section, I will say this because this did happen. Wait, don't work out right away. Don't get crazy and be like, I gotta lose this weight. Oh my God, it will come off. Whether it takes 3 months, 8 months, a year, year and a half, whatever. Let your body recover. I did know a guy who worked with a female, and she had a C-section. And I don't know if she just was obsessed with her weight, but she worked out 3 days after her C-section and she passed away. Please don't do that. So just make sure you are cleared by your doctor before you work out, and they normally will let you know if you're cleared at your 6-week checkup. So just want to put that out there. Another thing, it's a bit of information, not really a tip. If you are 35 years or older, they will consider you a high-risk pregnancy. They call it advanced maternal age or something like that. Advanced maternal age. It is what it is, honey. You're a woman. I recommend if you want a family and you're 40, try to have one. Don't let age get in the way. If you are older and you put your career first, or just maybe you want to be married, whatever your reasons are, if you want to have a baby at 40, honey, go for it. Also, a breast pump is another thing that's good to have. Check with your insurance. A lot of times your insurance will cover the cost of your breast pump, so you're not paying full price for Medela. My insurance did cover only one specific type of breast pump, but I don't care. It's free. So just check with your insurance to see what they'll cover. That is my video. At the end, I will show you the different things that you can take, you know, for what you're experiencing during your pregnancy. If in the booklet that I have that I received from my OBGYN. If you have any tips for some of the things that I've talked about, please leave that in the comment section below, so those who are watching this video can also see things that can help them. So that is my video, you guys. I hope, and it's probably a little long because there was a lot to talk about, but I hope you found it informative. If you are experiencing some of these issues, kind of let me know if what I recommended worked for you. But I say try natural before you actually start taking some of the things that, you know, are over-the-counter medications. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button while you're here. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and I will see you in the next one.